First in high definition from the station on your side, this is WAVY News 10.
Tonight's top story, temperatures. They are starting to drop.
So what can we expect for the holiday weekend? Chief Meteorologist Don Slater is in the Superdome 10 Weather Center with details. Don.
We're looking pretty good. Now, obviously, it's temperature is dropping out there and really started to drop just within the past couple of hours. I want to show you what's going on. Beautiful sunset out there. Sun just dipped below the horizon. We've got partly cloudy skies into the area for right now. It took a while, but temperatures did drop. Our high today was around 6 o'clock this morning. 71 degrees, but by 8 o'clock, 57. It rose a little bit with the sunshine in the early afternoon hours, but later afternoon hours, temperatures have been dropping. It was 55 last hour, and right now it's down to 52, dropping steadily in Norfolk. The only warm place on the map here is Charleston, South Carolina, with 73. We're basically dropping on down. Still fairly mild in Elizabeth City with 61, Emporia with 59 degrees. If you're heading out tomorrow, partly cloudy in Washington, 45 degrees, a little bit better, a little warmer into Roanoke, 51 degrees, a lot better into Charlotte, North Carolina with 57 degrees, mostly sunny. And for our area tomorrow, Christmas Eve day, around 47 to 50 degrees. We'll see a few clouds into the area. We'll talk more about what we can expect for the rest of the holiday weekend and beyond in just a few minutes.
And now police in Suffolk need your help. They want to find 2 people responsible for a home invasion. This happened Wednesday night in the Magnolia Lakes Mobile Home Park off Nansman Parkway. And that's where we find 10 on your side's Ava Hurdle, who's live tonight. Ava.
Tom, police say no one was hurt, but the suspects got away with computers, electronics, and cash. A festive red bow hangs on the front door where police say 2 suspects forced their way in. 4 people were home at the time. No one answered a knock, but a neighbor says he was told about it.
A man came up with a gun, stuck the gun through the door, and told everybody to get face down. And then he said that they started demanding stuff, money, stuff like that.
Michael Norfleet, who's lived in the area a couple of years, said the suspects made off with some valuable stuff.
A computer, and some CDs, and money, and stuff like that.
He said it's hard to imagine someone could do this during the holiday season.
Broken here twice, so I don't know what the world, is going on, but I mean, it's so close to Christmas and they breaking people's houses like this, it's terrible.
Andy says ordinarily this is a nice, clean neighborhood where residents pretty much keep to themselves. Now, police continue to investigate this case but have limited information about the suspects at this time. We're live in Suffolk. Ava Hurdle, 10 on your side.
And police ask anyone with info, call the crime line. Remember, you don't have to testify in court and you could receive a cash reward.
Norfolk police are searching for the 3 men who held up a fast food restaurant. This happened around 9 last night at a McDonald's on Newtown Road. Police say one of the suspects had a shotgun. There were customers inside at the time, but no one was hurt. This is one of the 2 suspects Hampton police say robbed the McDonald's on South Mallory Street at gunpoint. It happened around 10 last night. If you have information about either of these robberies, call the crime line.
And speeding may have been at the root of a deadly crash in Chesapeake. That's what police are telling us tonight. Investigators say 20-year-old Charles Aubrey Jr. of Knott's Island was killed overnight when his van hit a tree on Indian Creek Road near Northwest River Park. He was thrown from the vehicle.
Crews battled a fire at a Virginia Beach hotel overnight. Firefighters evacuated the Wind Gate on Burton Station Road as they fought the flames. Crews quickly got the fire under control on the 3rd floor. No word yet on how it started.
Call it an early Christmas present for millions of workers and those still out of work. Congress finally passed a 2-month extension of that payroll tax cut bill. President Obama delayed his holiday break to keep the pressure on Congress to okay the plan. Then on your side, Jennifer Johnson has today's developments from Washington.
It was yet another Washington standoff, affecting 160 million American workers.
Read for a 3rd time and passed.
But finally, House Republicans caved in, and after a quick vote, the payroll tax cut was extended another 2 months. The president later signed off on the deal.
This continues to be a make-or-break moment for the middle class in this country, and we're going to have to roll up our sleeves together, Democrats and Republicans, to make sure that the economy is growing and to make sure that more jobs are created.
The fix is only temporary. The president has told Congress he'll work with them on a 12-month extension.
I hope this Congress has had a very good learning experience, especially those who are newer to this body. Everything we do around here does not have to wind up in a fight.
Pressure to get this passed built all week, especially from the American public, who were emailing and tweeting the White House and Congress in huge numbers. The tax cut means more money for struggling Americans and extended benefits for those on unemployment.
This is a good Christmas present, a good Kwanzaa present, a good Hanukkah present for America.
The president delayed his holiday break until the bill was passed. Finally, he got the chance to leave Washington and join his family in Hawaii.
Congress will begin negotiating a full-year deal in January, but both parties are deeply divided on how to pay for it. In Washington, Jennifer Johnson, 10 on your side.
And this deal also includes a 2-month extension of emergency federal unemployment benefits and a delay in scheduled pay cuts to doctors who treat Medicare patients. And it also forces the president to make a decision within 60 days on whether or not to permit construction of an oil pipeline opposed by many environmental groups. That is a big one.
There was a shopping frenzy at stores here in Hampton Roads and across the country today, and it wasn't necessarily tied to Christmas, but rather to a pair of basketball shoes. The frenzy over a reissue of Air Jordan 11 shoes turned ugly, even violent. NBC's Chris Clackham shows us the scuffles.
Mad dashes turned to mayhem at stores across the country early Friday. The crush of the crowd in Indianapolis so strong it knocked a door off its hinges and fellow shoppers to the floor.
I actually tripped over the girl that fell. It was a few people that was on the ground. I jumped over them and kept running.
All the pandemonium for a pair of these, a reissue of Air Jordan 11 basketball shoes.
They just ran in there when they opened the doors, and everybody was going to every store.
Scenes were similar at 2 other malls around Indianapolis. While near Seattle, police used pepper spray when things went beyond unruly.
It happened when a fight was caused. That's about it. But everybody was trying to stop the fight and they just started spraying.
A real surprise given how docile some were at other stores in Seattle.
I'm going to get 3 pair for myself. And then I'll probably wear 1 pair and then put 2 pair up for a few years.
Near San Francisco, sales of the sneakers were suspended after someone fired a gun into the air, rattling a crowd of fellow shoppers. The crowd outside the store in Annapolis, Maryland, had grown to 500 before sunrise. The retros are reissues of the ones that debuted in 1995, worn by their namesake during the season Michael Jordan led the Chicago Bulls to an NBA record 72 wins. Today, they're instant collectibles, commanding top dollar.
The highest that I've seen is 600.
What'd you pay for it?
200.
So you gonna resell it? Or?
Yeah, I'm gonna resell it.
The retros retail for $180, a price for some that's far exceeded in value. Chris Clackham, NBC News.
We're talking about shoes here. There was also a shoe frenzy right here in Hampton Roads. That part of the story ahead at 6. Meanwhile, go to WAVY.com and click on the special coverage link with this story to see what people are saying about the sought-after shoes. Read related stories and share your opinion.
Well, in the rush to get stuff, we also have a story about giving back. Those local teams are spending their time off from school and why they say it is worth it.
And when she rung it up, she told me all I owed was $1, and I didn't really understand that.
Of Christmas found in the back of a local store. Meet a Newport News family who will have a happier holiday because of the generosity of a stranger. But first.
Wow, rattled buildings and rattled nerves. Several earthquakes shake a city. This is New Zealand, and you're going to see the damage.
You're watching WAVY News 10 at 5 with Tom Schaad, Nicole Libus, and Super Doppler 10 Chief Meteorologist Don Slater.
A strong series of earthquakes rattled New Zealand. It's chilling to watch this go on as you see people running for cover while buildings shook. It's Christchurch where this all happened, and the earthquakes and aftershocks forced underground water through loose soil, and you can see what it did, flooding out neighborhoods. Dozens of people were treated for minor injuries.
There were people running to try and get out and stuff. It was pretty chaotic.
Pretty violent. It was a bit freaky. I've not been in a building that had stuff falling off the shelves towards you.
Well, I'm from San Francisco. I get them from every now and then, but not as big as that's for sure.
Christchurch, New Zealand. It may sound familiar to you because it's still recovering from an earthquake back in February that killed 182 people and damaged much of the downtown area.
At least 7 people were hurt when powerful storms roared across Georgia. High winds tore the roof off a building at Shorter University and threw debris everywhere. One home was blown off its foundation and the family inside was tossed into the yard. Heavy rainfall caused streams and rivers to spill over their banks. More than 19,000 people across the state lost power.
And coming up, we're going to have our weekend forecast and take a look at the nation. Most of the nation, very, very chilly, except for Florida right now. Even Atlanta, as chilly as that cold front swept on through our area. It's finally feeling like December. How long is that going to last? We'll tell you about that with our forecast in a few minutes.
And the kindness of strangers are bringing new meaning to the season of giving by paying off those layaway accounts of their fellow man.
I'm just so grateful to know that someone has a caring heart to do such a thing.
You're going to hear from a local woman who benefited from a stranger's generous gesture.
20% of us will receive at least one lousy gift this Christmas. We're on your side with what you should know before you return it.
Or more than one lousy gift.
This is Seaman Apprentice Melvin Randall over at Japan Seafast Sasebo. I would like to give out a shout out to my people in Newport News, Virginia, my parents, my loved ones, my brothers and sisters. Happy holidays. I'm coming home soon. I love you so much. Adios.
And that is why he is smiling.
Oh, yeah.
Sure his family is too. Well, store managers, they're calling these people Secret Santas, but the people they help call them angels. We're talking about strangers who have been paying off layaway items.
And the acts of kindness appear to be growing. 10 on your side's Art Kahn joins us now with more on this holiday story. Art?
Well, you know, Nicole and Tom, this is an incredible story that really exemplifies the spirit of the season. It's not the kind of thing that hasn't happened in years past, but it seems to be happening this year in an exceptional way of giving and refreshing modesty.
Look at this one. Yeah.
6-month-old Zion Fields is clearly excited about all the toys under the Christmas tree. The presents are for her, but her mommy says all these toys represent a single gift of kindness from someone they don't even know. It all started in the checkout line at a Newport News Kmart store.
So I gave her my receipt so she could pull my layaway, and I owed about $140-something on it. And when she rung it up, she told me all I owed was $1, and I didn't really understand that.
It's happening at stores in Hampton Roads and across the nation. At this Kmart in Newport News, it started with a single gift of $1,000 from an anonymous donor now living in Canada.
It has just rolled from there with more people wanting to give, more people wanting to be a part of it.
In fact, all of the items in this storeroom have been paid for by a Secret Santa. What is it about this season that has produced so much giving in this manner?
I don't know. It's people just want to be a part of it. Many people give to different organizations, and this is something totally different where they're helping real people.
I'm just so grateful to know that someone has a caring heart to do such a thing as that for my 6-month-old daughter.
Triacia plans to use the money she saved on the layaway bill for the gifts for her daughter to buy presents for other children.
It'll help me to be able to provide for some of the young kids at my church. We have a few people that are less fortunate than I am, so I'm able to get a few gifts for them.
Not only able, but willing to take a good deed and pay it forward.
And an interesting footnote to this story, Triacia also happens to teach at an alternative school where she tells me she often uses her own money to buy things for her students. This whole thing affirms her belief that what we do for others ultimately comes back to us. Art Kahn, 10 on your side.
Or yes, I like it.
We have the amen corner over here, Nicole, but I don't know how you can argue with something like
I think
that.
that's
a great story, and it exemplifies the spirit of the season, right, Don?
Yeah, it really does, and it's and as long as you're talking about the season, it's going to feel like the season.
That's good
because we've got temperatures obviously cooling on down. If you've been outside at all in the past hour or so, temperatures have really been dropping very nicely now. They did drop a little bit for the day today, but they rose back up in the afternoon into the low 60s, and now they're starting to drop on down through the low 50s. And temperatures are going to continue to drop during the overnight hours and into the day for tomorrow. Now, look at the cloud cover into the region. We are seeing cloudiness return as well. You can see everything's dropping from northwest to southeast into the area as that cooler air is really starting to filter on in. We could see a sprinkle overnight, but that's not going to be the big thing at all. Most of us likely won't see a thing. 5 to 10 mile an hour winds tomorrow morning at 7. Partly cloudy skies during the day tomorrow. Light northerly wind at 10 miles an hour at the noon hour, becoming more northeasterly by the end of the day. Now Sunday, Christmas Day, we're likely to see clear skies into the area. 5 to 10 mile an hour winds. Might see a little cloud cover later in the day across the Outer Banks. 10 to 15 mile an hour winds, and it'll warm back up a tad for the day coming up on Christmas Day. And cloud cover, you can see that starting to roll across the Outer Banks by the end of the day on Christmas Day. So again, it's not going to be all that bad. It's going to feel like December tomorrow. 49, 50 degrees. That's as warm as it gets during the day coming up for tomorrow. We move on into Sunday, and it does warm back on up a bit into the mid-50s during the day. A lot of sunshine for the day on Sunday. We've had some sunshine that has warmed things on up during the day today into the low 60s in the middle of the afternoon. But again, right now it's cooled on down pretty dramatically. Low 50s, 50 in Virginia Beach, 52 in Norfolk, 51 degrees into Newport News. Our high today, 71. That was around 5, 6 o'clock this morning, and first thing in the morning, we dropped on down as that cool front came on through the area. 51 in Hampton, 55 at Chesapeake, 57 in Suffolk. Suffolk, you're going to cool down even further any minute. Same for the Chesapeake, and again, you can see it's at 56 in Elizabeth City, 55 degrees in Chesapeake, 55 degrees into Wakefield. But again, we've got temperatures that are cooling on down throughout the area, and they're going to continue to cool on down during the overnight hours. Again, low 50s for most of us right now. Will be low 40s by midnight hour, and dropping on down into the upper 30s. We'll continue to see partly cloudy skies overnight and partly cloudy during the day tomorrow. High temperatures around 49 degrees. Here the next 7 days, again, Christmas Day, a little warmer, 55, 56 degrees, but cooling right back down again for Monday. Tuesday, we could see rain for much of the day. It'll probably come to an end by the end of the day on Tuesday. Wednesday, 51, 53 on Thursday, and 54 degrees a week from today. So again, very chilly coming up overnight and into the day tomorrow. Cold start to the day on Christmas Day, but Santa likes that. 56 degrees coming up during the day on Christmas Day.
Love the lights.
Oh, yeah. A scary situation for a little girl and her family.
I was kind of scared.
It was a scary situation, not knowing where she is.
How this 9-year-old ended up stranded in an unfamiliar place far from home without anyone she knew.
And all your Christmas gifts might not be so great, and let's face it, some might just be plain lousy. So what do you do with something you don't want? I'm afraid to ask. We're on your side with how to make the best of a not-so-good situation.
A Consumer Reports survey projects 20% of American adults will receive a lousy gift this holiday season.
I wonder what denotes lousy. Well, we're going to find out. NBC's Chris Clackham has some advice on what to do if you are in the 1 in 5.
Certainly the reaction this year to most gifts will be like this.
Oh, look at me.
But a recent survey concluded that up to 49 million Americans will get what can safely be called a lousy gift this year.
The things that don't fit, the things that are gosh ugly.
Todd Marks was one of those at Consumer Reports who conducted the survey, and he says lousy gifts are why retailers are prepared for a flood of returns starting the day after Christmas.
Around 1 in 5 Americans will spend 2 or more hours actually returning gifts this year.
Which means consumers need to be properly prepared for returns too, starting with the obvious.
I mean, it should go without saying that if you're giving a gift, get a receipt.
Because of about $3.5 billion in return fraud last year, he says don't be offended by tighter return rules this year. With gifts like electronics, he says think before ripping it open to help avoid restocking fees should you return it. And consider your favorite charity as a destination for that not-so-favorite gift.
We're talking about new gifts here. And if people get a gift that they really don't like, you know what? If it's perfectly new and it's in good shape, donate it.
The survey found that's what nearly 1 in 5 Americans plan to do with the gift they don't want. Chris Clackham, NBC News.
From lousy gifts to lousy handwriting. See how the Postal Service deciphers poor penmanship so it can deliver your mail.
Coffee, tea, or soda? How do you get your caffeine fix? In a week, a new way to get caffeine will hit store shelves. Why one U.S. senator, though, is trying to stop the sale.
Start Facebooking. Start Facebooking.
He does
I'm here. Can anyone hear me? No, I cannot. Yes. All right. Thank you. All right, now Randy's coming out here. There's the mighty.
The mighty Quinn.
Hello. Hey.
Hi. A U.S. senator wants the FDA to conduct more research before a controversial new product hits store shelves. It's a caffeine inhaler called AeroShots. It's supposed to hit the stores in Boston and New York January 1st.
They should check it out, see if it has negative consequences, and don't let it go on the shelves until it is thoroughly checked out.
Where caffeine is being delivered to the body very rapidly. And so there really is the potential for caffeine, the same caffeine that we drink in coffee, but now through this new delivery mechanism, it can get people high.
Well, each shot, as it were, has 100 milligrams of caffeine, equal to, you guessed it, 1 cup of coffee that I like to have in the morning. Stay with us. WAVY News 10 at 5:30 starts right now.